Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tracing a path that so many of us know all too well. It's that slide from feeling a little socially drained to being completely, utterly burned out. We're going to break down how to see it coming, what it really is, and how to start finding your way back. This quote just gets right to the heart of it. Burnout is so much more than just feeling tired after a long week. It's this slow, creeping sense of disconnection from your job, from your purpose, and honestly, from the person you feel you're supposed to be. It's that feeling of just going through the motions, like the color is literally draining out of your life. So, to really get a handle on this whole journey into exhaustion, we've got to go right back to the start, to a feeling that I think every single one of us has had after a big party or a long day of meetings. Yeah, it often kicks off with a concept we all kind of use casually, the social battery. And it's such a perfect metaphor, right? It's that limited stash of mental and emotional energy we have for dealing with other people. Every single conversation, every meeting, every little interaction drains that power. And just like your phone, if you don't recharge it, it's going to die. And when that battery gets low, your body starts sending out some pretty clear signals. You might find yourself getting snippy for no real reason, or maybe you zone out halfway through a conversation. You could even feel it physically. Headaches, fatigue. These aren't you being antisocial, it's your nervous system literally screaming at you to go find a quiet spot and plug in. But here's the kicker. What happens when that feeling isn't temporary? What if you feel like you never fully recharge that battery? This is where we see that crucial shift, where simple social fatigue starts to morph into the early and frankly often surprising signs of chronic burnout. This is where the system starts showing real strain. I mean, we've all done this. It's frustrating, you laugh it off, whatever. But what if it starts happening all the time? Well, it might be more than just a little memory slip. This brain fog is actually a documented early sign of burnout. Think about it like this. When your brain is under constant stress, it's like a computer with way too many tabs open. It just can't process information efficiently. And that's why simple tasks suddenly feel like climbing a mountain. And your memory it takes a nosedive. Okay, let's move on to the next big indicator. Just ask yourself this. Do you find that tiny little things, like a slow Wi-Fi connection or misplacing your keys, feel like a massive, infuriating deal? That could be another signal. This creeping cynicism, that feeling that everything's pointless, that you're just detached and negative, is often a defense mechanism. When you feel powerless for too long, your mind basically builds this wall of negativity to protect you from getting disappointed. Again. All right, let's dive even deeper because it turns out burnout isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Research is showing that it can actually show up in 4 pretty distinct ways, and figuring out which one might be affecting you is really key to dealing with it. So first up, we have the frenetic subtype. This is the person who is working themselves into the ground, sacrificing their health, their personal life, all in the name of success. They are so dedicated, so invested, that they pour every last ounce of energy into their work until there's just nothing left. Now, on the total opposite end of the scale, you've got the under-challenged subtype. This isn't burnout from working too hard. It's burnout from pure boredom. Imagine a job where you do the same mind-numbing task over and over and over, with absolutely no room to grow. That creates this deep sense of pointlessness and detachment. Then you have the worn-out subtype. This is what happens when someone feels they have absolutely no control over their work or the stress it's causing. In response, they just give up. They feel helpless and they start neglecting their responsibilities because, really, what's the point? And finally, we've got the misalignment subtype. This one is all about a clash of values. It's when your job asks you to do things that go against your core principles, creating this huge internal conflict between what you do for a living and who you are as a person. Now, this next part is really, really important because a lot of the symptoms we've been talking about can look an awful lot like another serious condition. We need to understand the difference between burnout and clinical depression. Getting this right is absolutely the first step toward getting the right kind of help. Okay, so this table lays it out pretty clearly. With burnout, it's typically tied to a specific situation, usually your job. And here's the crucial part. Your sense of self-worth is generally still intact. You're exhausted, but you don't necessarily feel worthless. Depression, on the other hand, tends to be pervasive. It affects all areas of your life, and it often comes with these deep feelings of guilt or worthlessness. Burnout shows up as cynicism and detachment, while depression is more about a profound sadness and losing interest in things you used to love. So, you've recognized the signs. Maybe you've even identified which type of exhaustion you're feeling. That is a huge first step. But the next and most important step is about what you do now. How do you actually start to recharge and recover? And here's a really important insight. Taking a vacation is great, but simple rest is not the cure for real burnout. The true antidote is reconnection. It's about actively, intentionally reconnecting with yourself, with your sense of purpose, with your community, and with the parts of your life that actually give you energy. So here are 5 really practical ways you can start that whole process. And these aren't just, feel-good platitudes. These are strategies based on regulating your nervous system. Simple things like taking a few deep breaths, going for a walk outside, or just setting a firm no work after 6 p.m. boundary. They all send a signal to your body that the danger is over, and it can finally shift out of survival mode. As we wrap up, I really want you to hold on to this idea. Burnout is not a personal failure. It doesn't mean you're weak or you couldn't handle it. It is an intelligent, powerful signal from your body and your mind telling you that the way you're working or living just isn't sustainable. It is a call to action. So I'll leave you with this question to think about for yourself. If you're feeling that exhaustion, that drain, that disconnection, what is it a signal of for you? What is your body asking you to change? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.